Have you ever wondered why so many older men fail miserably with younger women? It's not because they lack experience, resources, or even charm. It's because they misunderstand what truly matters. They assume that financial stability or life wisdom is enough. But here's the harsh reality. Younger women crave something deeper, something most older men overlook. And when those needs aren't met, admiration quickly turns into frustration. You've likely seen this play out. An older man enters a relationship with a younger woman, believing his age and accomplishments alone will win her over. At first, she might seem intrigued, but soon, she begins to withdraw. His confidence turns into insecurity, his gestures feel controlling, and the connection crumbles. Why? Because he didn't understand what she was really looking for. Let's get one thing straight. Younger women are not searching for father figures or just someone to pay the bills. Yes, your stability and experience matter, but they're not the full picture. What they secretly want is emotional depth, maturity, and a sense of partnership. They want a man who can provide security without suffocating their independence, someone who respects their individuality while offering the stability they need to thrive. If you're not aware of these nuances, you risk becoming another man who just doesn't get it. One of the biggest reasons younger women are drawn to older men is emotional stability. Life in their 20s and 30s can feel like chaos, career uncertainties, personal insecurities, and a search for identity. An older man who can remain calm and composed in the face of life's challenges becomes an anchor in this storm. Unlike younger men, who often overreact or get caught up in their own insecurities, you have the ability to provide reassurance and direction. This isn't about being emotionless. It's about showing her that you can handle adversity without losing control, a quality that's deeply attractive and comforting. Another undeniable factor is authentic confidence. Younger women are tired of bravado and posturing, which are all too common in younger men. They're drawn to older men who don't need constant validation or approval. Your confidence comes from experience, from knowing who you are and what you stand for. But here's the catch. If that confidence turns into arrogance, it becomes a deal breaker. Women want a man who is self-assured, not self-absorbed. However, misunderstandings often arise when older men fail to read between the lines. For example, many older men assume that their life experience automatically makes them teachers in the relationship. But younger women don't want to feel patronized or controlled. They value independence and want to feel like equals in the relationship, not subordinates. This means letting go of the need to fix everything for her, and instead listening, validating her emotions, and offering support only when she asks for it. Another common pitfall is overcompensating. Some older men, fearing they're not enough, try to impress younger women with grand gestures or material wealth. While these might work in the short term, they ultimately send the wrong message, that you're trying to buy her affection instead of earning it through connection and authenticity. What she really wants is for you to show up as your genuine self, without the need for flashy displays. And then there's the issue of communication styles. Younger women often express themselves emotionally, while older men tend to rely on logic and solutions. This mismatch can create friction. For example, when she shares a problem, she might not be looking for advice. She might just want to feel heard and understood. If you immediately jump into fix-it mode, you risk dismissing her feelings, making her feel unheard and undervalued. It's also important to recognize the generational differences that can lead to tension. Younger women have grown up in a world that values independence and equality in relationships. They don't want to feel dominated or overshadowed. Unfortunately, some older men unintentionally come across as controlling because they mistake their desire to protect her for what she sees as limiting her freedom. The key here is balance, being a source of stability without stifling her individuality. So what's the solution? Awareness. Understanding these dynamics is the first step toward building meaningful connections. Younger women are drawn to older men not just for their stability or confidence, but for their ability to adapt and grow. They want a partner who listens, respects their independence, and understands their emotional needs. The moment you master these skills, you'll set yourself apart from the men who fail to connect with them on a deeper level. Now that we've explored why younger women are attracted to older men and the common misunderstandings that arise, it's time to dig deeper. What are the specific things younger women secretly want older men to know? These are the unspoken truths that can transform your relationships and make you the kind of man they deeply admire and desire. Number 1. They don't want a father figure. I remember dating a younger woman who was fiercely independent. Early in the relationship, I made the mistake of offering to handle her finances, thinking I was being helpful. Her response? "I don't need someone to fix my life. I need someone to walk alongside me." That one sentence changed everything for me. She didn't want a protector or a parent. She wanted a partner. Younger women often admire the maturity and experience older men bring to the table, but they're not looking for someone to dominate or control their lives. This is where many older men stumble. They fall into the trap of trying to take care of their partner like they would a daughter. While the intention might be good, it comes across as condescending and suffocating. The truth is, younger women want respect for their autonomy. They crave a relationship where they feel empowered, not overshadowed. Instead of trying to guide every decision she makes, focus on supporting her choices. This doesn't mean you can't offer advice or guidance, but only when she asks for it. Unsolicited input can feel like you're questioning her ability to handle her own life. Think about this. Would you want someone constantly stepping in and fixing things for you, even when you didn't ask for it? Probably not. The same applies to her. She wants to feel capable and respected, not micromanaged or protected like a child. Here's where balance comes in. Being supportive doesn't mean you stop being strong or reliable. It means you learn when to step in and when to step back. For example, if she's struggling with a career decision, instead of telling her what to do, you could say, "I trust you'll make the right call, and I'm here if you want to talk it through." A friend of mine, Steve, shared a story that perfectly illustrates this. His younger girlfriend was struggling with a tough family situation. His instinct was to jump in and solve it for her, but instead, he asked her, "How can I support you through this?" She later told him that those words meant more to her than any action he could have taken. Why? Because he let her lead the way while still being there for her. When you treat her as an equal and respect her independence, you'll notice a shift in how she interacts with you. She'll see you as a partner she can rely on, not someone she needs to push against. It's this balance of strength and respect that truly sets older men apart in a younger woman's eyes. Number 2, confidence is sexy, arrogance is not. A colleague of mine, James, used to think that the more he talked about his career success and accomplishments, the more women would be impressed. On the surface, he seemed confident, but his constant need to highlight his achievements came across as self-centered. One younger woman he dated told him, "You're impressive, but you never ask about me." That feedback hit him hard and made him rethink how he presented himself. Confidence is undeniably attractive to younger women. It signals that you know your worth, that you're comfortable in your own skin, and that you're not seeking constant validation. However, there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. The moment you come off as dismissive or overly self-important, the allure fades, and what remains is someone who feels inaccessible and, frankly, exhausting to be around. True confidence is quiet and self-assured. It doesn't demand attention, it earns it. You don't need to boast about your achievements or dominate conversations to prove your worth. Instead, confidence is about how you carry yourself, how you listen, how you speak, and how you make her feel when she's with you. A man who is genuinely confident can celebrate his partner's successes just as much as his own. The key is to balance self-assuredness with curiosity. Instead of talking endlessly about your own accomplishments, ask her about her goals, dreams, and passions. This doesn't mean you hide your achievements. It means you share them in a way that invites her into the conversation. For example, if she's passionate about art, you could say, "I don't know much about that world, but I'd love to learn from you." That simple statement shows confidence in your ability to learn and a willingness to engage with her interests. Another aspect of confidence is the ability to handle rejection or setbacks with grace. Younger women are drawn to older men who don't crumble under pressure or act out when things don't go their way. If she challenges your opinion or isn't immediately impressed by something you say, don't take it personally. Instead, show her that you value her perspective. Confidence means standing firm in your beliefs while remaining open to growth. I once made the mistake of confusing arrogance for confidence early in a relationship. I assumed that my experience in life made my opinions more valid. When my partner disagreed with me, I dismissed her thoughts, thinking I was teaching her. It wasn't until she confronted me and said, "You don't listen, you just lecture," that I realized how wrong I was. From that moment, I focused on listening more and speaking less. The result? Our relationship improved because she felt respected and valued. Ultimately, confidence is about making her feel safe, understood, and appreciated, not overshadowed. When you can strike that balance, you'll not only earn her respect, but also her admiration. Number 3. Emotional connection matters more than anything else. I once had a conversation with a younger woman who told me, "Most men don't even try to understand how I feel. They just want to fix things or brush them off." That stuck with me. She wasn't looking for grand gestures or solutions. She just wanted someone who could connect with her emotionally. This is where so many older men get it wrong. They assume their life experience or financial stability is enough, but without emotional depth, it falls flat. Younger women crave emotional intimacy above all else. For them, a relationship isn't just about practical benefits. It's about feeling seen, heard, and valued. They want to share their fears, dreams, and insecurities with someone who genuinely listens without judgment. If you dismiss her feelings or rush to offer advice, you're inadvertently creating a wall between you. This doesn't mean you need to bare your soul every time you talk, but showing vulnerability is key. Sharing your own experiences, your struggles, your lessons, and even your fears builds trust and creates a bond that goes beyond surface-level attraction. Emotional connection is what transforms a casual relationship into something meaningful. Here's the challenge. Many older men, myself included, were raised in environments where showing emotions was seen as weak. We were taught to be stoic in the wrong way, bottling everything up instead of understanding and processing our feelings. But times have changed. Younger women value emotional intelligence, and being able to navigate emotions is a sign of strength, not weakness. The next time she shares something personal, resist the urge to solve it. Instead, ask questions like, "How did that make you feel?" Or, "What do you think would help?" These simple prompts show her that you're interested in her perspective, not just rushing to fix the issue. It's a small shift in approach, but it makes a huge difference. A friend of mine, Mark, learned this the hard way. He used to think his job as a partner was to fix everything. When his younger girlfriend told him about a problem at work, he'd immediately offer solutions. One day, she snapped, "I just need you to listen." That moment was a wake-up call for him. He realized that emotional support wasn't about solving her problems, it was about being present and empathetic. Building an emotional connection isn't a one-time effort, it's a habit. It's about being attentive to her needs, remembering the little things she shares, and making her feel understood. When you master this, you'll stand out in a way younger men simply can't. Number 4, respect their independence. I once dated a younger woman who was determined to carve out her own career path. At the time, I thought offering to help her by connecting her with my network or giving advice would strengthen our bond. Instead, it backfired. She told me, "I appreciate your support, but I need to do this on my own." That was a humbling moment. I realized she wasn't rejecting me. She was asserting her independence. Younger women value their autonomy deeply. They've grown up in a world that encourages self-sufficiency, and they're often navigating the challenges of establishing their careers, relationships, and identities. When an older man unintentionally oversteps by trying to take control, it can feel suffocating rather than supportive. Respecting her independence means giving her the space to make her own decisions, even if you think you know better. It's about showing trust in her abilities and refraining from micromanaging or trying to solve her problems uninvited. For example, if she's stressed about a project at work, resist the urge to say, "Here's what you should do." Instead, ask, "What do you think is the best approach?" This simple shift lets her know you value her judgment. Supporting her independence doesn't mean you step back entirely. It's about finding a balance, being there when she needs you without taking over. For instance, if she's pursuing a personal goal, like starting a business or learning a new skill, offer encouragement rather than unsolicited advice. Say things like, "I admire how driven you are," or "I'm here if you need a sounding board." These small affirmations go a long way in making her feel respected and empowered. A friend of mine, Eric, shared a story about his younger partner who was passionate about photography. She wanted to quit her stable job to follow her dream, and while he initially wanted to caution her against it, he chose to support her instead. He said, "I trust you'll make it work, and I'll be here no matter what happens." That decision not only strengthened their relationship, but also inspired her to succeed even more. Independence doesn't mean she doesn't need you. It means she wants to choose how and when she leans on you. When you respect her boundaries and encourage her autonomy, you create a dynamic where she feels both supported and free. This balance is what separates a high-value man from one who unintentionally smothers her. Remember, respecting her independence isn't about stepping away. It's about stepping in only when she invites you. Show her that you see her as a capable, equal partner, and she'll feel more connected to you than ever before. Number 5. Small gestures mean everything. A close friend of mine once told me about the time he surprised his younger girlfriend with her favorite dessert after she casually mentioned craving it earlier that week. She was overjoyed, not because of the dessert itself, but because it showed that he had truly been listening. "It's the little things that matter," she told him, and she's absolutely right. Many older men fall into the trap of thinking that grand displays of affection, lavish gifts, expensive dinners, or extravagant vacations are what truly impress younger women. While those gestures might catch her attention briefly, it's the small, thoughtful actions that leave a lasting impact. These gestures show that you care about her as a person, not just as someone to impress. Thoughtful actions don't require a big budget or elaborate planning. It can be as simple as remembering her favorite coffee order, sending her a text, wishing her luck before a big meeting, or offering to cook dinner when she's had a long day. These seemingly minor acts speak volumes because they demonstrate that you're paying attention and that you genuinely value her. Here's an important distinction. Small gestures are not about consistency for the sake of obligation, but consistency out of genuine care. If she mentions feeling stressed, asking, "How can I help?" or just being present without saying anything can make her feel seen and appreciated. These moments of connection build trust and deepen the relationship far more than any grand romantic gesture ever could. One mistake older men sometimes make is assuming that younger women value material displays of affection over meaningful actions. But consider this. If you forget her birthday but buy her a diamond necklace the next day, will that make up for it? Probably not. However, a heartfelt card with a few words acknowledging her uniqueness can mean the world to her. Let's talk about presence. Sometimes the most impactful gesture isn't physical at all, it's emotional. Being fully present in the moment, listening without distractions, and showing genuine interest in what she's saying can be more meaningful than any physical gift. It's not about impressing her, it's about making her feel valued. Another friend, Mike, learned this the hard way. He spent weeks planning an elaborate date to impress his younger girlfriend, only to realize that what she remembered most about the night was a spontaneous moment where he complimented her smile while they were walking to the car. "That's when I knew he really saw me," she told him later. Small gestures matter because they're personal and specific. They show her that you're not just present physically, but emotionally attuned to her needs and desires. The key is consistency, not perfection. When you pay attention to the little things, you'll create a connection that no grand gesture can replicate. Number 6. Communication is the key to their heart. I used to think I was a great communicator, until a younger woman I was dating said, "You always try to fix things instead of just listening to me." That one comment made me realize how wrong I had been. I wasn't actually communicating, I was problem solving, and in doing so, I was dismissing her emotions. For younger women, Communication isn't just about exchanging words. It's about creating a space where they feel truly heard and understood. One of the biggest mistakes older men make is assuming that when a woman shares a problem, she's looking for a solution. While that might seem logical to us, it often feels dismissive to her. What she truly wants is emotional validation, a sign that you understand what she's going through, even if you don't agree with it. Statements like, "That sounds really tough," or "I can see why you'd feel that way," go a long way in making her feel supported. The truth is, younger women value openness and honesty in communication. They want you to share your thoughts and feelings, but they also want you to be a good listener. It's not about dominating the conversation with your opinions or experiences. It's about creating a dialogue where both of you can express yourselves freely. When you listen with empathy and respond with intention, you build trust and intimacy. Here's a practical tip. When she's sharing something, try mirroring her emotions instead of jumping into advice mode. For example, if she says, "I'm feeling overwhelmed at work," respond with, "That sounds exhausting. What's been the hardest part?" This not only shows that you're paying attention, but also invites her to share more, deepening the connection. A younger woman once told me, "It's not that I need him to fix everything. It's that I need to feel like he's on my side." This insight stuck with me because it highlights the difference between solving her problems and supporting her through them. The former feels transactional, while the latter feels emotional and relational. Another key aspect of communication is expressing your own feelings and needs. Many older men avoid vulnerability because they think it makes them look weak, but in reality, it's a sign of strength. Sharing something as simple as, "I had a tough day too, but I'm here for you," can create a moment of mutual understanding that strengthens the bond between you. A friend of mine, Alex, turned his relationship around by learning to communicate better. He started asking his younger girlfriend questions like, "What do you need from me right now?" instead of assuming he knew the answer. She later told him, "That's when I knew you really cared." His willingness to adapt his communication style saved their relationship and brought them closer than ever. At its core, great communication is about balancing openness, curiosity, and empathy. It's about making her feel valued, not dismissed. When you master this skill, you'll find that your relationships aren't just smoother, they're also far more fulfilling. Number 7. Authenticity always wins. A younger woman I once dated told me, "You don't need to try so hard. I like you for who you are." At first, I thought it was just a kind reassurance, but over time, I realized how much truth was packed into those words. Younger women can see through pretense almost immediately, and when you're not being authentic, it's a surefire way to lose their trust. Authenticity is one of the most attractive traits an older man can have. It's not about trying to fit into her world or pretending to be something you're not. It's about being comfortable in your own skin and showing her your genuine self. When you're authentic, you're sending a powerful message. I'm not afraid to be me, and I'm not trying to impress you with anything other than my true character. The problem arises when older men feel the need to overcompensate. Maybe you think she's into pop culture trends, so you suddenly start dropping references to music or movies you don't genuinely enjoy. Or perhaps you try to downplay your age by acting younger than you are. But here's the thing, when you're pretending, you're not building a connection, you're building a facade, and eventually it will crumble. Instead of trying to be who you think she wants, focus on sharing your authentic interests, values, and experiences. For example, if you're passionate about classic cars or a niche hobby, don't hide it. Talk about it with enthusiasm, even if it's not something she's familiar with. Your genuine passion will be far more engaging than trying to fake interest in something trendy. A friend of mine, Greg, learned this the hard way. He dated a younger woman who was into modern art, so he tried to become an expert overnight. But instead of impressing her, his efforts came across as forced and insincere. When he finally admitted he didn't know much about it but wanted to learn from her, she was thrilled. She told him, "I liked you better when you weren't trying so hard." Authenticity also means being honest about your intentions. If you're serious about the relationship, say so. If you're just exploring where things might go, be upfront about that too. Younger women appreciate clarity and respect honesty, even if it's not exactly what they want to hear. The key is to communicate your feelings and intentions in a way that reflects who you truly are. Another aspect of authenticity is embracing your flaws. You don't have to be perfect to be admired. In fact, showing vulnerability, admitting when you're wrong, or sharing a personal struggle can deepen the connection. It shows her that you're real, relatable, and courageous enough to let your guard down. When you're authentic, you stand out from the crowd. You become someone she can trust and connect with on a deeper level. Pretending might work in the short term, but it's authenticity that builds lasting respect and attraction. Number 8. Physical fitness and appearance still matter. After I started prioritizing my health a few years ago, a younger woman I was dating made an offhand comment that stuck with me. She said, "It's not about having a six-pack, it's about showing that you care about yourself." That single statement shifted my perspective. It wasn't about looking perfect. It was about demonstrating self-respect through the way I took care of myself. Let's face it, physical fitness and appearance still play a significant role in attraction, no matter your age. Younger women notice when a man makes an effort to stay active, dress well, and maintain his health. It's not about trying to compete with younger men in terms of physicality. It's about being the best version of yourself. Neglecting your health or appearance sends a message, even if unintentionally. It can signal that you've stopped caring or that you're complacent. On the other hand, taking care of yourself communicates vitality, discipline, and self-respect, all of which are deeply attractive qualities. Younger women are drawn to older men who show that they value themselves, not just for aesthetics, but because it reflects a sense of pride and confidence. This doesn't mean you need to spend hours in the gym or follow extreme diets. Small, consistent efforts can make a big difference. Incorporate activities you enjoy, whether it's swimming, hiking, or even a brisk walk. Pay attention to your grooming. Regular haircuts, a clean-shaven or well-maintained beard, and well-fitted clothes can elevate your appearance significantly. A friend of mine, Tom, was initially skeptical about this. He thought that as long as he was successful and confident, his physical appearance wouldn't matter much. But after starting a simple fitness routine and updating his wardrobe, he noticed a shift in how women responded to him. One younger woman even told him, "It's attractive to see someone who takes care of themselves. It shows you care about the life you're living." Beyond physical fitness, dressing well is a game changer. Many older men fall into the trap of prioritizing comfort over style, but it's possible to strike a balance. Invest in a few timeless, well-fitted pieces that highlight your personality and confidence. A tailored blazer, quality shoes, and a sharp watch can make all the difference. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of posture and body language. Carrying yourself with confidence, standing tall, maintaining eye contact, and offering a warm smile can amplify your physical presence. Younger women often associate good posture and strong body language with maturity and self-assurance. Taking care of your physical fitness and appearance isn't about vanity. It's about honoring yourself and the life you've built. When you make an effort to look and feel your best, you project energy, confidence, and self-respect. And that's something no younger man can compete with. Number 9. Don't overcompensate with money. A friend of mine, Rob, once told me about a relationship that ended abruptly. He had been dating a younger woman and showered her with expensive gifts, designer bags, lavish dinners, and spontaneous trips. At first, she seemed thrilled, but one day she left him. A reason? "I feel like you're trying to buy my affection instead of actually connecting with me." Rob was crushed, but it was a lesson he needed to learn. Younger women appreciate financial stability, but they don't want to feel like a transaction. Overcompensating with money might impress her initially, but it doesn't build the emotional connection or respect that sustains a relationship. When you lean too heavily on material gestures, it can send the message that you don't think you're enough without them. The truth is, younger women value the experiences and connections money can facilitate, not the money itself. For instance, a thoughtful dinner at a cozy, intimate restaurant will often mean more to her than a flashy 5-star event where there's no real connection. It's about the effort and thoughtfulness behind your actions, not the price tag. Here's where balance comes in. Financial generosity is not inherently bad, but it should never replace emotional intimacy. If you're giving because you genuinely want to share an experience or make her happy, it will come across as authentic. But if you're giving to compensate for insecurities or to win her, she'll sense it, and it will feel hollow. Instead of focusing on extravagant gestures, think about ways to show her you value her time and presence. For example, planning a day trip to a place she's mentioned wanting to visit, or cooking her favorite meal at home can have a far greater impact than a gift card to an upscale store. These actions demonstrate that you've been listening and care about her as a person, not just as someone to impress. A younger woman I once dated told me, "I don't need you to spend money on me. I just want to feel like you see me." That statement stayed with me because it highlights what truly matters. It's not about how much you spend. It's about how much effort you put into making her feel special. Rob, the friend I mentioned earlier, took this lesson to heart. In his next relationship, he focused less on material gifts and more on building a genuine connection. He started prioritizing quality time, meaningful conversations, and small, thoughtful gestures. The difference was night and day. His new partner told him, "I feel like I finally know the real you," and their relationship flourished. At the end of the day, money can enhance a relationship, but it can never replace the emotional bond that younger women crave. When you stop trying to impress with wealth and start focusing on connection, you'll find that you don't need to overcompensate. Your authenticity will shine through. Number 10. They want to feel heard and understood. A younger woman I once dated shared something that completely shifted my perspective. She said, "It's not that I need someone to solve all my problems. I just want to feel like my voice matters." At the time, I thought I was being supportive by offering advice whenever she talked about challenges in her life. What I didn't realize was that she wasn't asking for solutions. She was asking for understanding. Younger women value emotional validation more than many older men realize. They want to feel like their thoughts, feelings, and experiences are acknowledged and respected. When you interrupt, dismiss, or immediately try to fix what they're sharing, it can come across as dismissive, even if your intentions are good. Listening is an underrated skill, and it's often where many men falter. Real listening isn't just hearing the words she's saying, it's understanding the emotions behind them. If she tells you about a rough day at work, she's not necessarily asking for advice on how to handle her boss or coworkers. What she needs in that moment is a safe space to vent, knowing you're there to support her emotionally. A simple way to show her you're listening is to reflect her feelings back to her. If she says, "I'm feeling overwhelmed," respond with, "That sounds tough. What's been stressing you out the most?" This not only shows you're paying attention, but also invites her to open up more deeply. Another mistake older men make is assuming they need to have all the answers. Younger women don't expect you to be a mind reader or a problem solver. What they do expect is empathy and presence. Sometimes just saying, "I'm here for you and I understand how you feel," is enough to make her feel truly supported. Let me share an example. A friend of mine, Matt, struggled with this in his relationship. Whenever his younger girlfriend shared something personal, he would jump straight into advice mode. She finally told him, "I just need you to listen, not fix everything." Matt took her words to heart and started focusing on simply being present during their conversations. The result? She felt more connected to him, and their relationship grew stronger. It's also important to remember that understanding goes both ways. Sharing your own thoughts and feelings can encourage her to open up further. When you're vulnerable, it creates a space where she feels safe to be vulnerable too. For example, if she talks about feeling anxious about her future, you can share a time when you felt the same way and how you dealt with it. This kind of mutual understanding deepens the bond between you. At its core, making her feel heard and understood is about more than just words. It's about creating an environment where she feels safe, valued, and emotionally supported. When you master this, you'll not only strengthen your connection, but also set yourself apart as a high-value man she can rely on. Now, practical Stoic insights for building better connections. One of the most transformative lessons I've learned from Stoicism is this: focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. When it comes to relationships with younger women, this philosophy is invaluable. Instead of trying to control how she feels or reacts, shift your energy toward becoming the best version of yourself. By doing so, you naturally attract respect and admiration without needing to demand it. A key Stoic principle is emotional regulation, and it's something younger women deeply value in older men. Life is full of ups and downs, and how you respond to challenges speaks volumes about your character. If you lose your temper easily or react impulsively, it undermines the maturity she's looking for in you. Practicing patience and maintaining composure shows her that you're someone who can handle adversity with grace, a rare and attractive quality. Another powerful insight from Stoicism is the importance of living according to your values. Younger women admire men who have a clear sense of purpose and integrity. This doesn't mean you need to lecture her about your beliefs, but your actions should align with your principles. For example, if you value honesty, demonstrate it through your words and behavior. When you live authentically, you inspire trust and admiration. Let me share a story about a friend of mine, Daniel, who applied this principle. He was dating a younger woman who once asked him, "Why do you always seem so calm, even when things go wrong?" His response? "Because I focus on what I can do, not what I can't control." She later told him that his steady demeanor made her feel safe and grounded, a trait she rarely found in younger men. Practicing the art of listening is another Stoic-inspired skill that can strengthen your connection. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them proportionately." Younger women appreciate men who listen without judgment or interruption. When you're fully present in a conversation, it signals that you respect her thoughts and emotions. This simple act of attentiveness can set you apart in ways you might not expect. Another Stoic strategy that resonates in relationships is strategic silence. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. If she's upset or emotional, rushing to speak can escalate the situation. Instead, give her the space to process her feelings. This doesn't mean ignoring her. It means being there without adding unnecessary noise. Silence, when used thoughtfully, can be a tool for connection rather than avoidance. Lastly, Stoicism emphasizes the value of accepting impermanence. No relationship is guaranteed to last forever, and younger women respect men who approach love with both openness and realism. When you hold on to someone too tightly out of fear of losing them, it creates tension. But when you approach the relationship with confidence and an understanding that both of you are choosing to be together in the present moment, it creates freedom and mutual respect. To summarize, the Stoic approach to relationships isn't about suppressing your emotions or becoming detached. It's about mastering yourself so you can show up as a calm, composed, and authentic partner. Younger women are drawn to the stability and wisdom that comes from this mindset. When you embody these principles, you don't just improve your relationships, you elevate every aspect of your life. Conclusion: building meaningful connections with younger women isn't about flashy gestures, overwhelming them with attention, or trying to be someone you're not. It's about understanding what truly matters to them: emotional depth, respect for their independence, authenticity, and a balanced approach to communication. When you embrace these principles, you don't just become more attractive, you become the kind of man who earns genuine respect and admiration. Remember, relationships aren't about controlling or impressing. They're about creating a partnership where both people feel valued and supported. Younger women are drawn to older men who embody maturity, stability, and emotional intelligence. They want someone who listens, someone who respects their individuality, and someone who stands firm in who they are without trying to overcompensate. Throughout this journey, Stoicism offers invaluable lessons. By focusing on what you can control, practicing patience, and living according to your values, you can approach relationships with calm confidence. These aren't just skills for love, they're principles for leading a fulfilling life. And when you live as a high-value man, the connections you build will reflect that same value. So, take these insights and put them into practice. Pay attention to the little things. Approach every interaction with authenticity, and never stop striving to understand and grow. Younger women notice the effort, and more importantly, they appreciate the kind of man who is willing to rise above superficiality and build something real. The choice is yours. Continue doing what hasn't worked, or step into the version of yourself that truly connects on every level. Sound fair enough?